Alrighty. Hello, good morning, good afternoon to everyone. This is Amy, the Mystic Rose Tarot. I've arrived. I'm in a different location. And as you can see here, I'm going to tilt this down here. The room that I'm at right now is an enclosed part of this house. And ideally, I like to leave this sliding door open, but this door faces one of the main streets here, so there's a lot of traffic going on right now. And I'm trying to be very mindful of any noise that's going on in the background, so I have to close it. And the reason why I'm saying this is that it may get warm and I may have to open that door and you may hear some news or hear some noise. But anyhow, I'm here just to give you an update as to my journey from the mountains. So it is revealed that I am now in New Mexico. And it was a toss-up. I have another city, another state that I am interested in exploring, but I had an opportunity that was given to me, and it worked out timing wise, and it puts me in a situation where I can actually just try out the area here, walk around, meet the people. I've been here, I think now 120 hours. I arrived on Monday and just been slowly unpacking. And just to update you, I have not moved into a house like my own home. I'm doing a partial sublet of my friend's home who does quite a bit of traveling. So I will be here as of now through the summer. Hi, Lady Capera. Hi. I'm on the other side now in the Southwest. So so I will be here for a couple months in New Mexico. I'm in Albuquerque. And I'm going to be visiting some of the other cities and just seeing what's out there. I went out yesterday to, I think it's called the Old Town in Albuquerque. And so it's all these artisan shops that are there. It's actually bigger than I thought. We have in Los Angeles, there's the what is it called? Alvera Street, which is like it's a landmark. It's a historic center point for Los Angeles, for Mexican culture and artisans and crafts and events. But it's small. So when people are telling me, oh, you got to go and visit Old Town in downtown Albuquerque, it's like, yeah, I'm down for it. So I went to it yesterday, and it's actually quite a few blocks. I got there a little bit late, so a majority of the stores were closed, but there's some wonderful work that's out there. And it's a bit of a touristy place. So you had the typical tchotchkes of New Mexico. The ZIA, ZIA, is the picture of it here, is the logo for New Mexico. And so when I was driving, let's see, I'm sorry. Well, you need the rain, so let it rain. It's very warm over here right now. Well, not very warm, mid 80s, but it is extremely dry. Very, very dry. My hands are starting to show its wear. So you see me drinking water, I'm going to have to double the amount of this just to kind of retain some kind of moisture. It's like 7% humidity. It's very dry over here. And they already had some fires, I guess this week, I guess east of here. So it's already mid-April, so the season is starting up early for heat and fires. So everyone's very cautious. Everyone's saying, maintain the use of water, be conservative with the use, and I can appreciate that, coming from California. So, as I was saying, as I was driving um, from Cali into Arizona to New Mexico, and I was looking at all the license plates that were coming in from different states. Um, I mentioned this is the state logo for New Mexico. This was very interesting because I started seeing variations of the ZIA, and and the meaning of it when I went to Old Town yesterday. I asked one of the shopkeepers, what is the meaning of Zia? And so she talked to me a little bit about it. She gave me this pamphlet. And when I was driving, I was just fascinated with this because California, it only has the bear, I believe. Um, Here is the Roadrunner, which I saw yesterday. But this is, I work with elemental energy direction. So this, when she broke it down, my fascination with the meaning behind the Zia um, is grew even more. So I wrote it not in the description here, but I wrote it on my Instagram. The Zia, I believe, is sun. So here we have the sun, and here we have the directions. We have the rays of the sun, and it represents the four powers. It represents the four directions, which you see there: north, south, east, west. Um, the seasons that we have, we're in spring now: spring, summer, fall, winter. Also, the different time phases of the day. We're heading towards noon, so we have morning, noon, afternoon, and evening. And also the phases, the stages of life that we go through, from birth, youth, our mature years, and then our elder years. And so these four properties of the Zia symbol, the sun, it's never ending. Okay, it's a cycle. And so, as you see here on the bottom, there's more information about this on Wikipedia, so on and so forth. All of these four powers are encapsulated, are encircled, and they're never ending. It's infinity. So, as I was, getting closer into New Mexico, and I saw stickers that people have the Zia symbol, I was just like, wow. There is just something very special just about that symbol. Even seeing the license plate, it's on the license plate. It's it's a very strong symbol. And I did a little bit of reading about the symbol. Unfortunately, the Zia Pueblo, which is one of the tribes here in New Mexico, the history behind the Zia symbol was taken from the government of New Mexico, and they just made it its own. So they made it its own icon. So it was appropriated, and no compensation was given to the Zia tribe. And I believe one of the articles I was reading is, I think, 2008 or 2009. It's been 90 years that the state of New Mexico took the Zia symbol and put it as its own statehood icon, license plate, so on and so forth. So in that time, I think 2008, 2009, the Zia Pueblo sued the government of New Mexico for $74 million, I believe. And they came up with that amount for the 90 years, the time, and I guess whatever amount that they're asking for. Multiply that for 90 years of use of this, but the government didn't do it. But they came, um, the government came, I guess with um, a midway point of educating people about the use of the symbol and when to use it and when not to use it. But it's all over New Mexico. It's in jewelry, rings, it's on storefronts, all of this, different colors. I believe the traditional colors are red, yellow, and turquoise, um, or orange, different shades of that red. So that's interesting to know about, and also the fact that I'm it's there's a heavy Native American um, community and history here. So I'm looking forward to exploring that. Live in California, we hear and we see, and we're um, enveloped in Mexican culture, where there is this here in New Mexico, but here it's now Native American. So I'm going to be um, experiencing that a little bit more. And interesting enough, before I left, and everyone knows that up where I lived in the mountains, there's a lot of crows. Crows is a very popular spirit animal um, um, in Native American culture. So I think I may work with this deck more. I haven't seen many crows here, but I think I'll be connecting with this deck a little bit more, just to kind of bring in that energy. So regarding the Zia symbol, um, I see the stickers and I see some beautiful ways of that the symbol has been used, but now knowing that there was nothing compensated back uh, to the Zia tribe, the Zia Pueblo, I don't feel like I should even invest into something like that unless it's directly gifted from the Zia tribe. When there's been a lot of talk about appropriating things from different cultures, and it's very hard to see that. Look what I'm wearing here too. Okay, this has been turned into a necklace, dream catcher. This was not gifted to me. I did buy this. Actually, I bought this in Olvera Street um, by a artisan, but she didn't make these. So these, I think she bought online because there are just like so many of these different colors and stuff, but I found beauty in it. So the dream catcher is an example of something that has been used in many different ways and relating to Indian culture. So I think we're all, I'm not going to say guilty, but we've all invested in different kinds of culture icons and whatnot, and taken it as our own. But as long as you hold respect for it, like I'm not making more of these and making money and off of it or whatnot, but as long as you're using it in a way that is respectful and understanding, like what the state of New Mexico is trying to do with the Zia symbol, I think that helps. Just to know the best way to use it. You know, don't over glamorize it, don't modify it. Respect it for what it is. So there's going to be more to learn as I explore New Mexico and outside of Albuquerque. Um, let's see. I don't believe in cultural appropriation. We all came from the same cauldron, same first parents. Yes, but there are some things, Lady K. There are some things where, like for Indian tribes and whatnot, if it's used, like I was saying, if it's used in a way in respect, I think that's fine, but not over glamorizing it, not using it, um, to monetize off of it, um, or anything to take away. There's nothing wrong in that sense as long as the respect is understood. It's not glamorized. You're not putting it on keychains, so on and so forth. But that's hard right? You know, the pentacle, the cross, you know, all of this has been used and it's been modified and whatnot. Um, but in respect to here and understanding the history behind this, um, um, it gives more awareness for me, and how certain things here in New Mexico or any other state that has a Indian, Native American tribe, Mexican culture, anything like this, any Native American work, and it's kind of know the history, know what you're investing into. It's like buying the Ouija board and just playing with it for the hell of it. You got to know what's what goes into it, understand where the tool comes from and how to work with it. That's how I understand working, me personally, how I want to understand working with things that come from different cultures. Understanding, want to know what I'm getting into, right? Um, okay, so with that aside, about 10 minutes I've already talked into this. Um, we Spirit and I, um, Spirit, I think is under the table. I don't know where he is. Um, this trip was long, and he seems to be adjusting okay. There is a yard here. There's no trees except on the other side of the wall, but these walls are somewhat high. So when I walk outside with him, I want to make sure he's okay. So I have to supervise whenever he's outside, and it's okay. There's because of this main street that's right behind me, a lot of traffic. I don't think he's going to be jumping any walls because coming from the mountains, the forest, and hearing that kind of sound, that kind of environment that he's in, I think the cars definitely one of the days that we were out here. Um, he There's a motorcycle that just like revved up really loud, and he just got really startled, and hearing um, how close he is to cars and stuff. And he sees it outside the window from my room, and I think he's cautious. He's being very cautious. So he can only be indoor outdoor when I'm around. So I can't leave him outside and go for a few hours because I feel it's going to still be risky, and it is a completely different environment for him. But he's adjusting. He's doing okay. I'm in New Mexico, so I that's not too far. Well, it's 2 states over. Um, so so I got here. Cally Lilly. I cannot believe that you called it out as well. Okay. So I'm gonna start working the discussion in in that direction. But let me first talk about where I'm at right now. So, if you missed earlier, I'm doing a partial sublet of my friend's home, and so uh, him and his girlfriend travel quite a bit. So I am here manning the house, if you will, um, and making sure that everything's taken care of. Um, his house is incredible. He's still working on parts of his home, but it's kind of hard to show how it's set up. I got red velvet curtains behind me. The living room is the walls have fabric that is black and gold. Hi, Lisbeth. How are you? Um, he has a similar taste as mine, but more centered. He likes 1970s furniture, so this table, which is like a long, um, uh, formal dining room table, it's all wood. Um, I'm looking around, it's he did a beautiful job, there's, like, lanterns here, and, I don't know, maybe one day, once the lighting's a little bit better because it tends to be a bit darker in the other room, um, I'll try and do a video from that room. But he has antiques, he's big on lamps, there's a chandelier that's right over here. Actually, maybe I'll tilt it forward. Now, I'm doing this with my Ethernet cable, so I hope I don't disconnect. Let's see it. Okay, I don't wanna tilt it too far because then I'm gonna lose the connection. Anyhow, um, he's been working on this house for a while. So, this is going to, uh this is going to be a really beautiful place, to do, videos from. So and I already told him that I have a YouTube channel, he knows about it. He goes, "Oh, yeah, go for it." Um, Hello, Mel. Yeah, the red velvet. It's only in this room, but everything else, he loves black and gold, and there's, like, tinges of red. So, and his office is um, just as out there. So it's beautiful. It's the first time I've been here, so we have similar tastes, but he's more stylized than me. Uh, so so yes, I'm gonna be here for the summer, and if things work out, I'll see about potentially planting roots here. But again, I want to cover my grounds. Everything was very energetically calling for me to move. So that's why um, I did this move as quick as I did because I felt if I put it off, I was just going to be stuck. And everyone knows about the signs and omens that I had earlier in the year. So um, let me fast forward and thank you for everyone who's slowly coming in. So I'm in a different time zone. So there are 4 time zones in the US. So we got the Pacific where I was from or living at. Now I'm in mountain time zone, so which is Arizona, Colorado. I think Idaho is part of it. New Mexico, that little strip, Utah, that little strip that's in the center that moves east from California, little strips of state. It's all mountain time. And then we have central, which is Texas, Missouri, Illinois, all those other states. And then we have eastern. So I'm just 1 hour ahead, which I actually like. I actually like that I have an hour ahead for getting things done. So the signs and omens. Now, I made a trip about a month ago to Oregon, and that is a place that I'm looking at as well. And I was speaking. Here's signs and omens. I was speaking to 2 friends of mine. They don't know each other. They don't know what my plans were, except that I was considering, um, relocating. And one day when I was speaking to one of my friends, she was saying, "Well, where have you thought about moving to?" And it's like, "Well, I'm considering Oregon, but I'm not certain. There's another place that I have in mind." So she stopped and she smiled and she said, "What about New Mexico?" And I looked at her, I go, "What do you mean, what about New Mexico?" She goes, "I don't know, I just thought New Mexico." And it's like no one has no idea of, what I was thinking. "Hi, Deborah, how are you?" And so I was just like, "Wow." And I fessed up to her. It's like, "Yeah, New Mexico is one of the places." But I just thought it was so random that she would say that. Okay. So fast forward. I go have dinner with some other friends. We're talking about the same thing. You're going to start seeing a pattern happening. Um, and so we're talking, and while my friend's preparing dinner. And so I'm speaking to her husband, my friend's Sonny, her husband. And the same thing we're talking about, what I was thinking about looking to move. And he stopped and he said, New Mexico. And I'm like, why? What made you say New Mexico? I kid you not, everyone. I kid you not. And it's like, I don't know. I just kind of felt New Mexico come up. And it's like, wow, I'm in another state considering moving there, but I'm getting signs and callings from other people saying New Mexico. And so I got back home and I contacted my friend whose home I'm at right now. And I told him this, and he's like, wow, it looks like you got to get over here. I go, yeah, I guess there's something here. Okay. And so fast forward, if you look in the description, as I was putting hints, as I was traveling over here, the lovely Cally Lilly puts in one of the comments that she was feeling Santa Fe, Taos, Albuquerque. She was feeling New Mexico. So I don't know what it is. I don't know where, I don't know who's channeling these messages, and channeling it through friends, even through the internet, through Cally Lilly. This is all before I said anything. And I made the announcement. I posted it yesterday, and I also posted on Instagram today that I'm here. So when I tell people from the beginning of this year, and when you look at this playback about signs and omens, I'm being serious. Okay? I'm not making this up. There is something here. I don't know what it is. I'm here. And just yesterday, speaking to a few people, one person that I had walked by, and I just smiled, and he looked at me. He goes, "Look at New Mexico, blue skies," and leans in and goes, "It's a very special place." So I'm like, oh my God. Is there like a gravitational spiritual pull that's happening with some people that brings them here? I like to know, as I'm talking, I'm looking at the comments here, if anyone has had a calling to go to a place, pack up and move, because the feeling was so strong, like I have to go there. I like to know your experience. If you've had any great results, has there been anything shape-shifting that has culminated in the time of you relocating? It doesn't have to be business-oriented or relationship, but just like, I have to go there. I have to see what's there. I'm being called. I'm getting signs. Let me know in the comments or here. But I've never, well, sort of. I lived in Miami for a few months, and I had a call in because I needed to be by water. And I figured, okay, let me do Miami, because then I'll be closer to my father, who lives in the Caribbean. And I went there, and I think the calling that I had to go to Miami and being drawn for the water is just healing. I was going to the beach there almost every few days a week, and it was just soothing. But then everything outside of that, I couldn't connect with it. It didn't work out. So I left, and I came back to California. So I've jumped around. I've lived in many different places, even internationally for different periods of time. But here we are, and it's actually been 10 years since I last moved to Miami and I had that calling almost, well, 11 years. Now here, now's this calling. And I never thought, New Mexico, Albuquerque, but there's something here that I need to explore and see what it is. It may, open up a new direction for me. I have some potential ideas, but I don't want to say anything yet until I know clearly, what's happening. Let me scroll up to the comments. Yes, Oregon. Here in the mountains, which I'll get to while I'm here, I think this is the beauty that I like of New Mexico is because we got the desert. I've never lived in the desert, so I can tick that off. I've lived near water, the beach, Miami, and now the mountains as well. But here, the Sandia Mountains are this direction. I don't think you'll be able to see anything. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see. The Sandia Mountains are right there where it's all blown out. And so it's not too far. And there's a tram that you can take that takes you to the peak of that mountain, or you could drive to it. So I will pay a visit there at some point. There are other towns, definitely Santa Fe. Santa Fe was actually the place that I wanted to look, and I will look into more so than Albuquerque. So I'm going to visit that and see. Let's see here. Yeah, it makes me think of Area 51, Roswell, which I think is further south. I don't think I'm going to go down there. I do want to see White Sands. I do want to go to White Sands, New Mexico, because the thing of just seeing white sand, and it's my neighbor, when I was up in the mountains, was saying to me that the material that the sand is made out of is the same material that borax, that soap, washing soap, comes from. So he was saying to me that the white sands there actually they actually keep your clothes clean. So if you have any dirt, I think all you got to do is maybe roll around or grab some of the sand and rub it, and it takes the dirt off. I don't know. So I'll check that out. And then there's the photo that I posted in this video of those rock formations. Is where I want to definitely go. And I believe it is northwest of here, a little bit over an hour. And it looks so ethereal after my experience of going to Death Valley last year, and never seeing anything like that before in my life. Death Valley. Hi, Gerald. I think after visiting this place, it's going to like wow me. I got to bring up the name because it's not coming to me right now. So hang on one second. I think I put it in, let's see here. There's so many. There's Tea Kettle Rock, the Goblin Colony, Tent Rocks, which my friend was saying that I should go and visit, which I will. I am looking for, let's see here. Bear with me, everyone. Oh my God, this is so beautiful. Yeah, the Tent Rocks. They actually look like tents. I cannot find the name. Anyhow, the rock formations are shaped like into mushrooms. It's incredible. So I will check that out. I will do photos, and there's no internet signal, so I can't really do a live there. I can record, but I definitely will check that out. Let's see here. Your meditation teacher, Deborah, was called to New Mexico last year. Deborah, did your teacher relocate? or just or was just there temporary. Uh, Lady K, Lady Capera, Area 51 is closer to where I live. I knew you were going to. Oh yeah, Roswell, I guess is west. I thought it was south of New Mexico because you loved it so much in your travel. Oh yeah, um, yeah, but I don't feel the calling. You know, if someone says, "Hey, let's go to Area 51," yeah, I'll definitely go. But it's not, it's not there on my list. Yeah, I agree with you, Deborah. I feel called out to move out of California, born and raised here. Yeah, you know, in time, um, all these changes come. And one shop owner that I was speaking to yesterday, um, you know, I told her I just relocated here from California. And she says that she actually wants to get out of New Mexico. She goes, I'm done with it. She had the same kind of energy that I had while I was in California. And I said, "Oh, see, the grass is always greener." And I asked her, "Where do you want to go?" And she goes, "I want to go to Texas." Right off the bat, she goes, "I want to go to Texas." And I think basically it's just, and I said, "Well, you know what? You're younger than me." So I think her energy was more in a direction of where, you know, she wants to be in a place where there's a lot happening. I'm older, so I still like a lot of things happening, but in a smaller environment. In the mountains, it was great. It was beautiful, but I needed to be in community. I need to be um, in a community where there's more, you know. So, um, and I have the environment here of the desert, the mountains. So, so I told her, you know what, make it happen. If that's where you feel that you need to be, just go there, you know. And I think she had family there, but she's really looking forward to leaving. So, um, you know, it's just how you lead your life and the environment that you're in and the energy that you're surrounded by. It's going to dictate, it's going to direct you where you need to be. Let's see. I've been researching Oregon and Montana, where my ancestors are from. I would love coastal. I think maybe. Yeah, I mean, you know, I mentioned Miami. Sort of. I wasn't right in front of the water, but it's like 20 minutes away from it. I thought about the coast. The coast would probably be the equivalent to the mountains because when you live by the coast, there's not too much there. It's smaller than something like New Mexico. Um, but the coast is a consideration. And if things work out, maybe I'll place myself there in my later years. I don't know. We'll see. Um, Lady Capera Unk, you want to go back to Northern Cali? Can you do it? And if so, where would you go, Lady Capera? Let's see here. Hello, Debbie77. Sorry, I'm just catching up here. Um, let's see. Las Vegas is 8 hours from me. Area 51 is not much further past Henderson. Okay. Yeah, for some reason I thought Area 51. Um, is there? I'm getting confused here. There isn't. It's Roswell. So Roswell and Area 51, they're not the same, correct? I'm getting confused. um, yeah, Texas. I'm not interested in Texas. No due respect for those who live in Texas. Um, but I don't it's nothing that I have an interest in. Even though a lot of people from California are moving to Texas, I could see why because of work and also affordability. Um, but that's not where you'll see me at. Watch something happen and that'll change. But as of now, that's not where I see myself. Hi, Julianne Victoria. Surprise. Um, What's Groom Lake? I meant that I knew you were moving to Mexico. What's Groom Lake? Can you tell me what that is? Christine, hi. Or Kristen. I'm sorry, Kristen, hi. Uh, yes, Spirit did move with me. I like the way that came out. Spirit did move with me. Um, and I have to be careful here because at my friend's home, um, because of the way the house is decorated, I have to keep a watchful eye and that he doesn't get overzealous with curtains or anything like that. So I have to watch him. I think he's somewhere. He was here earlier. Oh, I hear him. There you are. Hi, baby. He's at the end of the table on the floor. So he did come with me. He did pretty good on the ride. I was very surprised as to how well he did. The ride was about 16 hours. Normally, you could probably do it in about 12 hours, but I took many stops. It was a very long drive. Um, my car was packed to the top, um, and it was kind of hard to take a nap when I could because I couldn't recline the seat back. But Spirit did really good. Um, there were pockets and amongst the boxes and luggage that he just found a place and he just nuzzled there. He didn't even sleep in his bed or anything. I think, he didn't even use the litter box, which I was concerned. We made a few stops. He didn't want to come out of the car. Only one time, and the one time he did, he got on his hind legs and he wanted me to pick him up. He was just too scared um, with everything that was going on. So this is another extension of our relationship because now I've moved him out of his mountain environment and now we're in something different. So he stays close. Do you want to come over here, Spirit? It's okay. All right. So he's staying close to me, and I think that's something that's good to see, especially doing a move like this. Um, let's see here. Lady Capera. Oh, I see. Groom Lake. It's these are all Groom Lakes in California. Um, oh, got it. Area 51, Groom Lake in Clark County. Okay. I was getting confused. It's like the more I was talking and you were mentioning Area 51, Nevada, it's just like, wait a second, there's no Area 51 in New Mexico. It's Roswell. Um, um, yeah, consider living in Eureka, the redwoods. I think from here on end, um, I really don't want to stay. I don't want to live in an area that's very remote. And what I felt was um, my time in the mountains, and I mentioned it, I believe in the video, it was a time for healing because I had lived in the city for such a long time, Los Angeles, and the hustle and the grind, so on and so forth. Um, I I had to get away, and I've always loved the mountains. So calling came, went to it, it worked. It worked wonderfully. But after the series of things that happened, later part of last year, early part of this year, it was time to move. And again, as I'm saying this, I don't miss I don't miss the house. The house served its purpose. The house was a vessel. The house was an extension of me. And I needed to be in that place and in that environment to explore and to find out a little bit more about myself. One thing that did surprise me was I really didn't think I was going to be moving so soon. I was only there for 5 years. So, but it came, it happened. And so I don't have any attachments to it. And that's a good sign because that goes to show that I I went full circle in that house. I will miss the house, the structure, but energy wise, I got what I needed from it. In the last few months of me being there, again, I mentioned this in the previous video. Um, I'm at peace with it. So now I go and explore the next the next phase, the next chapter that I'm going to start. So Kirsten, moving with kitties are always an adventure. Some cats just won't, so I'm happy seems to be up for the move. Yeah, when I went on my trip, I left Spirit with a neighbor of mine, and so she was watching him while I was gone. So this was the first time that he actually was out of his environment, and I left him at another person's home who had a cat around the same age, and they just kept them separated, and no fighting, just a lot of fluffy tail and arched backing, and just like checking each other out, but not really interacting. So he did good in that sense. And I think that helps because with him being outdoors, he was always coming across a few cats in the neighborhood. I do hope that Baba will be okay. Baba is his look-alike cat that would come around to visit every now and then and would sometimes chase Spirit in a playful way. So I hope Baba will be okay back there in the mountains on his own. So he's good with other cats. He kind of knows territory and how to walk into it. So now we're just easing into this new direction, and he's being cautious. What is the biggest difference you've noticed so far? Oh, of course, Mel. This is what this video is about. The weather. Okay, my hands are very dry. I mentioned earlier, we're 7% humidity, and I keep doing this because I actually feel my skin. I feel the skin, and so I mentioned earlier I have to drink a lot more of this. I asked a shop owner who's lived here for quite some time, and I said, "What can you recommend for dry skin?" And she was saying you constantly have to moisturize. There's nothing you can do, to prevent this. So I'm embarrassed. I'm just going to show you my hands from here, but up close, they're very leathery. So dry humidity, 7%, very dry, and that doesn't serve me because water is needed. We're over 85, 90% water. So when that water is expelled, when it's drawn out, it's a different kind of tired. And so I have to keep hydrated because then I get sleepy. Also, altitude wise, I believe here, let me look at my phone. My phone has a built-in compass and it tells me the elevation. I am 5,300 feet. So no difference from where I was living up in the mountains. I was 5,800. So altitude wise, probably not much of a difference, just the weather. The people here, very, very nice. customer service so far. I've only gone out for a few days. Very nice. Um, people excuse themselves when they walk in front of you. I'm just not used to that. I can't even I don't even know what to say for that. Um, they're very outgoing. Okay, this is just a few days that I've been here. Um, so the courtesy that I've noticed here is something that I have to get used to. So, but I'll embrace that. I have visited some metaphysical shops. I did that yesterday. Um, and let me finish looking at the comments because there's bits and pieces that I will continue to share. Um, let's see. You finished whatever you had to do there. Yeah, yeah. I felt like that was as far as I can go up there. um, Short of work. And up there, I really couldn't do this kind of work. I need to be in a community, someplace that I could just go to and, interact with people. Um, yeah, I have coconut oil, but I'm starting to notice I'm putting coconut oil like on my in my ears, not but like on the outside, on my face. It just soaks it up. It soaks it up, so I'm concerned that the coconut oil could actually be a little drying for me, I don't know. But I do put oil on after I shower. Um, uh, I take humidity for granted, always be yeah, when you realize that when you live in a desert area, um, you don't realize until your body starts speaking to you and starts showing you signs. Deborah, sesame and almond, okay. Actually, almond oil is probably best because it's fattier. I think, well, coconut oil has fat, but I think the fat content is different with almond oil. Um, I'll try. I have still with a bottle this high of coconut oil, I have like probably a quarter of it left, but I'm putting it on me throughout the day. Uh, Lady Capera, too hot, dry, and arid where I live. It does affect skin. Use O'Keeffe's hand moisture for split knuckles. You know, um, Take cut E, vitamin E, A, D. I do have vitamin D, and I get a lot of vitamin A in the foods that I eat. Um, Avocado is big on vitamin E, so perhaps, and I don't like avocado, but perhaps having foods that have that content with vitamin E is good. Okay. Eat more olive oil and a little more sea salt. Okay. All right, Julianne. Which of the oils, if anyone here knows, holds the most fat? I believe it's coconut. We got coconut, got peanut oil. Obviously, I wouldn't put peanut oil on me. Sesame, olive, um, oh, there's shea butter. I need to get shea butter. I think I need something thick like that so that it just sits on the skin and the skin just slowly absorbs it. That's the thing that I'm thinking of. Joshua Benjamin, the Ankh is actually a martyr's making in palmistry. The eyes of Ra Horus appear as one marking eyes with slants. Okay. Okay, Joshua, thank you. Are you seeing something that I don't see? Are you sharing something that I don't know about? Almond is good. There's another oil that's supposed to be close to our natural. Um, it starts with a P. I thought coconut oil was the one that's closest to our pH level because it absorbs very quickly into the skin. Ah, sesame. Yeah. Sesame oil has that seed smell, but, I think that's good. I used to, I haven't done panchakarma yet, but, I was seeing a Ayurvedic practitioner, and I was referred by this person to have a massage. I can't remember the name of the massage, but it is for healing Ayurvedically, and sesame seed oil was there with a little bit of an essential oil in it. Um, they're all fat, but coconut has saturated fat. Okay. Um, some people castor oil. Okay. It's not coconut. Okay, so it's not coconut. Abhyanga. Thank you. Yeah. And they do everything. They do from the head. They work with the crown energy, um, the back of the neck. It was a wonderful massage. And actually, there's a few massage schools here in New Mexico. So I will check that out because when you go to these schools, you're being what is it? You become a practice tool for the students, so that you get a discount when it comes to the massages. It's not professional, but you're getting a student who's working um, and getting their massage license. So I haven't had one of those in a while, but now since things have opened up, that is one of the top 5 things on my list to get done is to have a massage and just to release any excess of stuff. Not too much, because this heat is draining, but that's one of the things I look forward to. Um, do you need a new stash of hats and stuff? um, well, I won't. I mean, I walk out in the sun, but not when it's blazing hot, especially when it's dry. I have to explore that. I went for a little bit of a walk yesterday uh, by downtown Albuquerque. The Rio Grande cuts right through it. And so I'm like, oh yeah, let's check out the Rio Grande. And it's just a running river. Um, um, and and it was fine. It was later on in the day, so it wasn't too hot. But when I was getting into New Mexico, I saw signs like the Rio Grande, and I couldn't see it because it was dark. But it's amazing how large this river runs. It cuts through into different states. So I walked by part of it yesterday. It was nice, and nothing too great about it. It's very still. Jojoba, yes, jojoba. That's the one. That's the one. Thank you. That's probably the one I need to use as well. Um, Women in India rub warm ghee with turmeric into their skin. It keeps, yes. Um, Turmeric does stain, and I've noticed in the times that I use turmeric quite a bit in foods, that when you sweat, it comes out. And I noticed on my pillows, I had to throw some pillows away. And I'm certain it's also other stuff that's coming out of your body as well. But my pillows were stained yellow, and so I had to throw those pillows away. And it's like, wait a second, this has to come from the turmeric. Um, so I won't be doing that because it does stain, and I think this is probably as dark as I want to get, because as I've gotten older, my skin has gotten thinner, and so I've noticed that when I'm out in the sun for a certain amount of time, I burn out quicker. So the skin isn't as thick as it used to be when we were younger. Um, let's see here. Um, yes, oh yeah, no, 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 no. The coconut oil I put on, and it goes right into the skin immediately. Ah, ghee, yes. Ghee I've cooked for. I've used it as a spread. Um, so I do like it. Let's see, Lake Capera. I once long ago wanted to become a shiatsu massage therapist. You can still do it. Why not? And I love shiatsu. I think that was the first style of massage I had when I was ready to experience a professional massage. Shiatsu. It's a little deeper, but I think it also focuses on energy points, and it was wonderful. I felt actually invigorated after that. Um, so that was nice. Um, yes, yeah, it's already it's getting a little dry. I put a little bit of oil in it, but thank you for pointing that out too. Um, but again, I'm not going to be directly in the sun too much. If I feel like it's getting too much. And I think this is pretty proper here because actually the woman that I spoke to at the shop that I was telling you about, um, she was pale white. So she's the one that said that, there's pretty much it's a constant, hydration of the skin, putting oils, have something in your bag with you that will, at least protect the skin. Um, my friend has like a 50 sunscreen PF, and he's pretty pale. So, and he works indoors, so he's very sensitive to the light. Um, let's see here. I get hella dark in summer. It's that AB negative blood of mine. Thank you, Joshua. I appreciate the message. Thank you. So, what I want to discuss is I went to visit a few metaphysical shops. There's not many here in Albuquerque. Um, I was being led to by one person who works at one of the local shops here um, to definitely go to Santa Fe and to visit the town of Madrid. And I need to look this up, but she was saying that there's quite a few spiritual oriented shops that are up there, and she actually feels that that could be a good place for me, like to introduce myself for readings. But Madrid's and I think about 45 minutes from here. I have to still do all this research. Um, but she said it's a very special town, energy wise. She really likes it, and and so I will check out those places. The two stores that I went here, if you ever visit Albuquerque, one the store Abitha's Metaphysical Shop has been here in Albuquerque for 35 years. So I would say it's probably the oldest metaphysical shop. The other one that I went to is called Blue Eagle Metaphysical. Blue Eagle I like because the selection was a lot more than what Abitha's has. So, or Apatha's. So Abatha's seems to be more catered towards craft working. So there's a wall that had over 100 or 200 different oils combinations that the shop owner um, has made for spell work, for repelling, for attracting, different colors. So those were all hand custom done by the owner. They had some books, some tarot, but the energy and just the tools that I saw in Abitha's or Abatha's was carried more towards doing craft work, witchcraft work, occult work. They had the tools, athames, some tarot decks, so on and so forth. So it's a smaller shop. but Blue Eagle had like a glass case full of tarot decks, a bookshelf full of tarot decks. So they're pretty much well stocked. Lots of books. And I kept doing this. And the reason why I was doing this while I was in both stores is not to open my wallet while I was there. But Blue Eagle was great because it catered to all different kinds of spiritual practices, and and I felt it was a little bit more eclectic in that way. So when someone comes into this shop, they can find tools, they can find what they need. Hi, Jerry84. Welcome. Hello. Um, and so it's there's a little bit of everything. But what's interesting, and I've noticed this, um, with various kinds of metaphysical shops, when you go into these stores, okay, they may have similar products or they may have different products, but the energy in every metaphysical shop that I've gone to is different. It's a different energy that came from the Blue Eagle metaphysical shop. There's a different energy that I felt that came from Abatha's, or Abitha's. I think it's Abatha's shop. And usually the shops that cater more towards the craft, the energy is very protected. Okay. They're in the way that they talk, and this is not a negatory at all. So if you own one of these shops and you know what you're talking, and and understand the energy that I'm talking about, it's understood why there's a protectiveness in some of these shops. Okay, because we have people coming in from the street. They don't know who we are. So some people feel uncomfortable with that energy because they feel like that the people who work at these stores are watching over them, like they may take something. They're not. They're just watching the energy that comes into that store. And so I definitely felt it at one of these stores. Thank you, Julianne. And for those who have a practice will understand that and respect it. Blue Eagle is a store that's more catered towards, everyone can come in. But there's a respect that needs to be held when going into these stores. And both of these stores had these kinds of energy, but they were different. Blue Eagle was more, like I said, open because they welcome different kinds of practices. So it was a wonderful place to be in for both, but you get two different experiences. Did you just drive into? Wow, that thing's got. Sorry, I'm reading Mel's comment. Did I just drive into Albuquerque and find a place? No. Chutzpah to do this? Sorta, kinda. More courage than I have. I'm happy for you, Amy. Still chasing your dreams. I am too old now. Well, realizing after spending that time in the mountains, and feeling, and what was interesting was while I was packing that house, I was reliving the energy and the excitement that I had when I first moved into that home. And I was happy. Like I said, I came full circle. And also I found out through the property management of the home that I was living in, it's already been rented. So they gave me some background about the people that are moving in, and it sounds like it sounds like the home is going to be going to a good place. It sounds like it's a couple. and there's a service dog that is with this couple, so it sounds like it's going to be, going to a good place. So I left, um I did some clearing before I left, but for the most part, I felt like all the work that I've done and the purging that I did 2 nights before I actually left was good. Okay. So I felt everything was cleared. It's welcomed for anyone who for the next people who move in. It feels ready for the next. Um, but but no, Mel, I didn't find this place in particular. So I don't, as of now, I don't have my own place. Um, and I mentioned earlier, I'll mention again, this is a partial sublet. So I'm subletting, doing a partial sublet of my friend's home um, while when he goes out of town, which is almost what is it, almost 90%. He's hardly here. So this worked out for me, and it gives me time to to explore the area, see what's here. One thing I do like is the Adobe style homes, the structures that I see here. A good percentage of the homes here are um, in the style of Adobe, like clay design. Very nice, very simple, and I like that because I like simple structures, nothing very fancy. Maybe simple on the outside, but maybe inside a little fancy. But that's one thing I do like, the simplicity of these homes, but also the way that they're designed. You could do a lot with Adobe homes, and they're just very beautiful. You could put wood beams. I've looked on Zillow. I actually had an interest in a house, not that I was going to buy, but I was looking at some of the houses here. They're beautiful. The Southwest architecture, there's wood. You could probably see right there in the corner. You can't see too much. I'm holding on to my cable here so it doesn't come out, so I can't really turn this around. But this room that I'm in, the dining room has a lot of wood, and it kind of reminds me of being back at the mountain house. Um, but but yeah, there's a lot of creativity, and the fireplaces that they have here. They have this traditional brick fireplace places, but they have the fireplaces here called kivas, Kiva, and they're they're very feminine. They're round, and they go up, and the opening, but some of them are large, um, and I think they're made out of adobe. Um, and the opening tends to be smaller than a regular fireplace, brick fireplace, which can be, or stone fireplace, which can have a large opening. Um, the difference with these Kiva fireplaces is that they radiate heat. So um, if I was to find a place, hands down, and I mentioned it to this real estate agent, it has to have a fireplace. Fireplace needs to have it. So, and these are beautiful because they mold into the shape of of the of the wall that it's in. So it looks like this fireplace is just coming out from the wall because of the way it's designed. So the radiating heat is good because the fireplace I had back in the mountains did not do that. So when we had our power outages, I had to spirit as well. We had to literally cuddle up right to the fireplace to get heat. And because I had those low ceilings, it was very hard. Um, so it's fireplace is mandatory for me wherever I go. Um, let's see here. We did that moving here, just an Airbnb for a couple of weeks. A bit scary, but it all worked out. Yeah, I wouldn't have done a move like this if I didn't have a place temporary. And there's a good chance I may sublet from here elsewhere. If I find find an area that I think works better because again, this is my friend's home. It's not my space. It's not entirely my space, but so I have some freedom, but I don't have full freedom of doing what I can normally do here. So everything is in boxes. Everything's put away. So I brought all my tarot decks. I brought my books. Um, I brought part of my office with me, a good part of it, just the tools, not the table. And I have a large room where Spirit and I sleep, and it's fine. It works out for what I need for now. Uh, um, uh, I'm sorry, I don't understand. BRB again? Why are these people coming over? I did not invite anyone. Cally Lilly, what are you talking about? I don't follow. Um, BRB? What's that? Okay. Okay, so metaphysical shops, there's just a few. So I will explore, these other places and see what's there. One thing that I was told about is, actually, before I forget, there doesn't seem to be a lot of tarot readers here. The stores that I went to, there were a few business cards. Blue Eagle already has full-time readers there, so they're pretty much all set. But I introduced myself and gave them my card, so they will keep me in mind. But the the places that I've been to and the people that I've spoken to. Oh, be right back. Thank you, Kaz. um, it seems to be more healing. There are a lot of healers here. There's a lot of energy workers that are here. Um, and one of the stores that I went to, I picked this up. You can see here. So this is a list of some of the events, either virtually or in person, that are going on for this month. There's an Albuquerque astrology group. Oh, it's actually today, 1:00. Okay, that's going to be starting soon. Anyhow, so I'm going to take a look at these because I want to connect and meet like-minded people here. Another thing that I was led to keep an eye out for from Blue Eagle. The woman who I spoke to there, she's just a burst of energy. Her name's Harmony, and she was telling me of all these places. Next weekend, the weekend of the weekend of the 30th, which is Beltane weekend, there's actually a Beltane festival that takes place, she was saying, in the La Tierra Mountains, which I guess isn't too far from here. And they've been doing this for over 20 years. So I'm going to look into that. Beltane in New Mexico, that sounds wonderful. It's in a foresty area. And I think you buy tickets. There's going to be vendors, but it also sounds like it's voluntarily based. So basically, volunteers come in to help put the event together, and so they're going to have drummers, probably no fire, but they're going to be doing a lot of fertility rituals and whatnot. So I'm going to look into it more. I went to the website, but everything's done through Facebook. And read a little bit more about it because I think that would be interesting to go to. It sounds like there'll also be nudity, which is fine, but I think it's in a place that is very secure and out of the way where no one will come in and crash it. So I'll take a look at that and see. I'll see if I can go or not. Sedona Taos, big energy vortexes. Yeah. I'll get to Taos, New Mexico, at some point too, because I want to visit these areas for that very reason. Santa Fe, um, Taos, primarily because of the healing and the energy forces that are there. There's something about desert energy, right? We got Joshua Tree, all these different places, Sedona, um, Death Valley, all these places that I'm thinking that I've visited. There's something very unique about it, and that's probably why I'm here, why I need to explore what's happening over here. Um, I have not been to Sedona. My neighbor next door, the one who was talking to me about White Sands, has family there, and he was saying Sedona is very very special. Also, um, there's a point somewhere in Sedona. I think I may have mentioned this a while ago in a live that there's a certain area in Sedona that you go to. I think it's a peak somewhere, and there's an energy vortex that when you go there, it's like time almost erases itself. Some people have gone to this particular area and they're anything digital, even analog, everything stops, everything reverses. Uh, reverses differently. Like if you had a compass and you get to that point, the compass is just like, I have no idea what's going on. Um, I've heard some people say, this is, some experience that a few people have had, not a lot. They don't remember, they've gone there, but they don't remember what happened. So there's like a race of portal, whatever that happens in this particular area. I do not know where it is, but they say that when individuals go to this place, things shift. They come back feeling different, more relaxed, but feeling like something has been released from them. So that's interesting. Um, oh, excellent, Deborah. Yeah, Joshua Tree. Here in Albuquerque, it doesn't get so hot from what I was told. It only gets to the 90s. And I guess it's because of the higher altitude of being, a little bit over 5,000, just like up where I was living up in the mountains. At 5,800 elevation, it's gotten up to 98 degrees, 97, and that is just very, very warm for that mountain region up in SoCal. So we'll see how the summer goes. If it gets to the mid 90s, I'm cool with that. That's fine. Mel, yes, go and have your dinner. I'm forgetting because I'm in a different time zone. Go and get your food. Um, and thank you for keeping me company, Mel. Thank you for catching this. And next time I do my lives or recording, I'll try to break it up a little bit because this home a different has a different decor in almost every area. So it's going to be fun to have a different backdrop, a different backdrop. Um, Now, everyone, please stay home. I'm busy. The 90s is fine because when I was living in Los Angeles, they've gotten heat that went well over 100. Um, but but when I was living up in the mountains, when it's 98, right? 96, 98 in the mountains, and you go down to the foothills, you go down the hill. I was living in San Bernardino County. It's 115, it's 110. It is blistering hot. That's too much, and especially for days on end. And let's not even talk about Palm Springs. Coachella's taking place right now in Palm Springs. So, and I believe the weather's perfect. I think the weather there's probably in the 80s, and that's wonderful. But if it's like 120, nah, too hot. If it's right. I don't like dry heat. I don't like dry heat because of this. When I lived in Miami, I actually liked the heat, the humidity, because it made, when you go to see people on the East Coast, they tend to have better looking skin than here on the West Coast because it's so dry, depending on where you live in the West Coast. But when I lived in Miami and I came back to California, people were like, "Oh, your skin looks great." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, it's that humidity." So, yeah, I like the humidity, and they do get rainstorms here, so humidity um, will come, but right now, no. It's Let me see here, and I will end this soon because I've been on for a while. It is. I want to see where. That's the humidity. Can you see that 6% humidity? I feel like I'm shriveling right now. And our temperature is a beautiful 73 degrees. So it's quite nice. Not too hot, not too cold. And yeah, mid 80s. We're getting some wind this weekend. Anyhow, that's the weather report here in Albuquerque. Um, yeah, Lake Capera. Yeah, because of where you are in the Sierras, definitely hot. You get those fires. God forbid that there's going to be another season of fires. I definitely hope not. Um, Thank you, Kaz. Thank you. Yeah, watch the playback. I think you caught a good part of it, of what's going on here. Palm Springs is where people go to be mummified. Yeah, it's like you see those pictures of the 50s and 60s of the bright colored hair women and the white colored hair um, older men, and their skin is just like it is dark and it's all leathery. It's quite different. Um, you lived without, oh God, Kaz, don't tell me that you lived without humidity for 6 months and aged 5 years. I literally feel like that with my skin. I mean, look at this. Oh my God. Um, yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Lady Caparis. I understand why humidity, you need to have that moisture. And even in my throat, I'm probably going to have things like honey, things that, yeah, thank you, Kaz, definitely. Honey, things that coat, things that literally sit on top of the skin. That's why I was thinking like shea butter, because shea butter is the thing that I always use. Um, and just put that layer on and just let it slowly soak in. I'm going to be greasy. I'm going to be greasy, but I really need to get this the skin thing taken care of. Yeah, yeah. It literally. I mean, my skin feels like paper. Anyhow, this is yeah. And this is just a few days being out here in the desert, so I have to ramp up this. And also and also with spirit. Um, One way that you can tell for when a cat's getting dehydrated is you check their paws. Okay, you check their paws just like here we check our skin. That where's that skin snap? If it doesn't snap back, that's a sign of dehydration. The paws. If the paws are very dry, if the nose, anything where there's moisture on animal's body, if it's dry, they need to increase water. He's been doing good because I put water in his dry food and a water bowl. I've always been doing that, so he seems to be doing okay. But I need to watch him and make sure, because if he isn't getting enough water, I have to, make some changes for that. Um, let's see. They call it the Great Basin, sits in a bowl rimmed by the gorgeous Sierra Nevada mountains. When we have fires, last summer was the worst summer here ever. Wow. Yeah, I lived in the mountains. I was in a valley. I was in the valley area, so that probably explains why heat was so much more there. And when you go up in elevation, like you go up towards Big Bear, where it's higher elevation, it's much cooler. As much as maybe 10 to 15 degrees. But the valley, even though with the trees, thank God the trees were there to kind of keep things cool, it still got hot. It still got hot up there. So I was pretty surprised. Yeah, well, I'll see what I can do without, the humidifier. I don't want to start bringing all this stuff in. I'll do the best that I can, and and make do and see what I can do to just keep things going. But the water, the water is very important because coconut water. Coconut water is probably another thing too to drink because that internally moisturizes as well. Um, and I believe coconut water is also a um, antibiotic. Coconut kills bacteria, so that can also be a good thing as well. Heat inversion, yeah, no kidding. They're they're serious here about it, but it's not too hot, but it's still very dry here. When I was walking around by the Rio Grande, there were signs similar to what they have in the mountains, like fire alert, the different levels. They had the sign that said very high, so it's very dangerous right now. So when it comes to burning incense, um, I'm gonna do it outside, but my friend's yard is all stone, stone and pebbles, so it's totally fine. So I could burn the incense outside, which is good. If you're off the grid, you could dry your yeah, yeah. He was saying to me he has a pole out in the backyard to dry, shirts and stuff. And actually, I had to dry something the other day, and it dried probably within an hour. So that's how dry it is here. Um, so some perks, some perks with the weather here when it comes to something like that. Um, okay, I think that is it for now. So I will leave it at that. Drying indoors is free. Yeah, in a sense, yes. But I'm going to experience that. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's a higher elevation of desert heat. So, like I said earlier, apparently the summers here they don't get hot like Arizona, which gratefully I'm not at because of the weather. So we will see. Okay, so now my plans for this is while I'm here, I'm pretty much settled, like with my belongings and stuff. We're moving into the sign of Taurus in a few days. So I think from here on up to that day, I'm going to be getting ready to do my astrological tarot readings for the month of Taurus, doing all the elemental signs, doing an astrological background, tarot astrology background for the month of Taurus, and getting that set up. So I'll be working on that for the next few days, and I will do a live this week. Um, and I don't know what date that will be. So I'll slowly be coming back to my regularly scheduled program, but modified as things settle in for me as other things happen. So so watch out for those things. I do have plans to have a guest come over for a visit either this month or next month because of my move and making all these changes. I've had to move things around. So everything's going to be going the way that it was. I'll be adding a few more things as well. So I'm going to wrap it up. It's about 1 o'clock over here, or it is 1 o'clock. I'm going to get some lunch. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to those who are watching the replay. This is where I am, New Mexico. And for those who missed it, I would suggest scroll back to the beginning because I talk a little bit about the meaning of the symbol, the sun's symbol of the Zia here in New Mexico. It's a very powerful symbol and how it's been used here in the state, but also how you can use it into your practice as well. So take a look at that. And thank you for keeping me company. Appreciate it. You'll probably see Spirit next time around. If he decides to pop in, he's in the other room cooling down. But I am here, New Mexico, Albuquerque, and thank you for your support throughout this journey the last few months as I transition into a new environment, a new experience, and sharing all of this with you. That's all I have to say. I would pull a card, but I don't feel a calling to it right now because I just want to share what's been going on with me at this time. Okay. I will see you all soon. Thank you again so much for your support. Any questions or comments, leave them in the comment box. You know where to reach me for readings. Let's get these readings going. I am ready to go. So you can reach me via my website to do readings. And I have a list of the readings there. Any questions you have, you can ask about that. I'm on Instagram, so on and so forth. Promote. Let's get this ball rolling as I go into a new direction. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy Easter, too. I forgot Easter's tomorrow. And I will catch you all soon. Thank you again.